Hello guys, welcome to another video by Lanis. This is probably going to be a short intro because I'm on the bus right now, and the video is supposed to go up in like 30 minutes, lol. I want to be honest with you all, I deleted my 2K special because it wasn't getting as much recognition as I felt it deserved, especially considering how long it was and how much time I spent on it. So if you saw it up for a bit and then noticed it was gone, that's why. I try to be as transparent as possible with you all, and I felt like I needed to share that. This is just a filler video to make up for that, so sorry if it's not that great, haha. I still hope you enjoy it nonetheless. And without further ado, enjoy. Atsumu and Sakusa whispered into the quiet hush of night, their voices soft over the line. They'd been speaking since sunlight spilled through their windows, and still, neither could tire of the sound of the other. Hey Omi. Atsumu's voice was soft and a little breathless through the phone. Yes? Remind me again why we have to whisper when you are in your room? Sakusa had his phone in his hand, pressed to his ear, speaking so low it was barely audible. Because my parents sleep like cats. They have sharp ears. There was a small laugh on the other end, but it died out quickly. Silence stretched thin between them. Omi, I'm scared. Scared of what? Atsumu smiled nervously on the end, knowing he can't be seen. What if your parents catch me and then they hate me even more? Atsumu. I mean, I feel like I could probably get them to warm up to me in a few months maybe. Shut up. Sakusa cut in, voice sharp but still a whisper. They're not gonna find out about anything. And I don't wanna see you in a few months, I wanna see you now. There was a beat of silence. Then Atsumu said. Guess that is the best part of all this. And how much longer is it going to be till I get to see you? Sakusa said through a yawn. Atsumu smiled into the phone. About 5 minutes. Make it 3. Sakusa muttered, and hung up. He moved fast, slipping out of his room and down the hall in silent socks. The upstairs living room was dark except for the glow of the moon spilling in through the tall windows. He opened the small storage closet, squinting into the shadows until he found it. The stupidly long unnecessary ladder. He whispered to himself. Why do we even have this? And rolled his eyes before dragging it silently back to his room. He cracked open his window, careful and slow. It still made a soft click, but he froze for a second, then kept going, sliding the ladder down to the ground. His phone buzzed with a message from Atsumu saying, I'm here. Sakusa replied with a simple, come to the right side of the house. 30 seconds later, Sakusa saw him, backpack slung over one shoulder, wide grin stretched across his face, hair a little messy from wind and travel. From his second-story window, Sakusa gestured with a flick of his hand to come up. Atsumu looked up, mouthed, I'm scared, eyes darting nervously. Sakusa rolled his eyes and mouthed back, hurry up, beckoning again. Atsumu sighed dramatically, slinging both straps over his shoulders, tightening the straps of his backpack, and started climbing. When he finally pulled himself through the window, he landed with a thud. Sakusa smacked the back of his head softly. Idiot. Atsumu was trying too hard not to laugh. That only made it worse for Sakusa, who bit back a smile and then lost it completely. Quiet laughter spilled between them like static. Sakusa helped Atsumu take off his backpack, set it on the floor, then pushed him back gently onto the bed. Wait here. He disappeared with the ladder, returning a minute later. I think we're good. He whispered, shutting the door and locking it behind him. Then he leapt onto the bed, straddling Atsumu and kissing him fast, deep, and hungry. Atsumu laughed into the kiss. You missed me, huh? Obviously. Sakusa's fingers were already sliding under his shirt. Atsumu pulled back slightly, breathless. You really wanna do this knowing how loud you are? Sakusa slapped his chest and pouted. I am not loud. You a baby. Atsumu grinned. Sakusa rolled his eyes, flopped off him, and laid down. Atsumu laid beside him, letting Sakusa rest his head on his chest. Have you done this before? Atsumu asked quietly. Done what? Snuck your secret boyfriend into your room. A pause. Then Sakusa said. You're not my secret boyfriend. My family knows about you, they just don't know you're here right now. You're dodging. Atsumu laughed. Yes, this is the first time I've ever snuck anyone in. The only other relationship I was in was with a Shijima, and you can probably guess how they felt about that. The silence stretched out. Then they looked at each other, and Sakusa said, I want you to stop bringing him up. Atsumu chuckled lowly. I'm sorry baby. He kissed the crown of his head. Sakusa yawned. You don't trust me? I do. Atsumu said quickly. No, you don't. Sakusa said, biting his lip. Every conversation that we have, you bring up Wakatoshi like I'm too stupid to notice. How do I think you're stupid? You're trying to manipulate me. What? Don't smack your lips at me. You're trying to get me to admit something I don't even feel. Atsumu was quiet, his fingers still brushing through Sakusa's hair. You're wrong. He whispered. Don't fight with me Omi, come on. Sakusa let out a sigh and then a yawn. You tired? Good night, baby. The next morning, Sakusa sat on the bathroom counter, legs swinging around Atsumu, as Atsumu stood between, applying a face mask with careful fingers. Sakusa, in turn, brushed Atsumu's teeth for him. They laughed softly, whispered nonsense. A knock. Both of them froze. Sakusa mouthed, stay here, and slipped out, closing the bathroom door behind him. He opened his bedroom door to see his sister. Kyumi? Why are you up so late? It's time for breakfast. He stammered. I was just. And why was your door locked? Because I was. You know what? I don't care. Just come downstairs. She shut the door and Sakusa exhaled harshly through his nose. He opened the bathroom door. Atsumu stepped out, grinning. Feel like a dirty mistress. Sakusa smiled and said. I know. I'm sorry. I just have to go downstairs for a bit and then. The door burst open again. His sister stopped mid-word, staring at Atsumu. Sakusa covered her mouth as she mumbled furiously behind his hand. He closed the door, locked it, and whispered. Shh. Then slowly removed his hand. She immediately launched into whispered questions. How and when did he get here? Hi Atsumu. Hey. Atsumu waved awkwardly. Sakusa sighed. He got here at 3 a.m., I snuck him in. Her face shifted to mock shock. I respect that. And if mum and dad find out? They won't. Not if you don't say anything. You know I won't, Haikyuu. Now come to breakfast, it'll be weird if you don't. They left Atsumu in the room. After breakfast, 10 a.m., his parents were heading out. You've been acting weird, Kyumi. I'm just sleepy. You woke up at 8. Breakfast is at 8:30. A simple mistake, mother. Need help with anything upstairs? No. Sakusa said too fast. They blinked. I mean, I just need a couple more hours. His mother kissed his cheek. Okay baby, get some rest. He waited for the door to close, then sprinted upstairs. His sister followed. They're gone. Atsumu grinned. And why couldn't I have just come at this time? Because then I wouldn't have woken up next to you. His sister cooed, as he answered while he busied his hands with something. Or, shut up. He took Atsumu's hand and led him downstairs. On the couch, his brother laid back flicking through movies asking. Hey guys, what's the name of that zombie show mum likes so much? He then paused, stared at the three people at the bottom of his stairs, shrugged, and went back to the TV. Atsumu whispered as he and Sakusa migrated to the kitchen. I really like your siblings. Sakusa was about to say something, but moment they heard the front door lock turning, the entire room froze. 4 pairs of eyes snapped toward each other in synchronized panic, Sakusa stiffening by the counter. His older sister sat ramrod straight at the island, and his brother stood up from the couch. Atsumu stood in the middle of the kitchen in nothing but borrowed low-riding sweatpants, and a too small t-shirt that wasn't his. Shit. Sakusa hissed, then shot forward and shoved at Atsumu's shoulder. Down. Atsumu barely had time to react before Sakusa was guiding, no, manhandling, him into a crouch behind the kitchen island. Atsumu dropped fast, knees skidding against tile as he ducked behind the counter like some kind of badly hidden fugitive. The front door opened. Sakusa's dad stepped in, keys jangling. He didn't even glance up. Your mother forgot her lunch. All three siblings stood rigidly in place, smiling like robots. Atsumu could feel their tension even from the floor. Sakusa's dad made his way into the kitchen with calm, unhurried steps. As he passed the counter, Sakusa's hand dropped to Atsumu's shoulder, patting him, once, twice, then gave a silent, firm push. Move. Atsumu held in a groan and started crawling. He slid toward the far end of the island, pressing himself low, shoulder brushing against cabinet handles, keeping his head down. Above him, Sakusa cleared his throat and spoke, voice cool and neutral. It might be on the counter. His father said distractedly, already stepping closer to Kayumi, brow furrowed as he looked around. She said she left it somewhere around here. Where is it? He was getting closer. Atsumu could hear the footsteps, deliberate and slow, and crawled again, this time to the other end of the island. He turned a corner just as Sakusa's dad passed behind him, completely unaware. Atsumu glanced up, and locked eyes with Sakusa's brother and sister across the room. Both of them were wide-eyed, desperately biting their lips. Sakusa's brother's face was turning red. His sister had her lips tucked into her mouth, clearly trying not to smile. Atsumu sniffled hard to keep from laughing, shoulders shaking as he ducked lower, palms sweaty against the floor. From above him, Sakusa's foot subtly kicked him. Atsumu hissed, biting his lip so hard it hurt. Still smiling at his dad, Sakusa didn't even look down. Finally, their father spotted the lunch bag tucked near the toaster. Ah, there it is. He walked across the kitchen, grabbed it, then turned, headed straight toward the island. Panic hit everyone like a wave. He crouched tighter, but he was totally visible from that angle. Without a word, both Sakusa's siblings stepped in front of him. One stood squarely in front of his hunched figure. The other casually leaned against the counter, legs splayed just wide enough to block the view. "Bye, father," they said in unison, grinning like they were in a commercial. He blinked at them, then nodded, unfazed. "Okay. Bye, kids." The door clicked shut. For a beat, no one moved. Then the room exploded into laughter. Sakusa exhaled, his siblings burst out laughing, and Atsumu launched up from the floor like he'd been reborn. "Oh my gosh." One palm braced against the island for support. "I feel like I'm in a movie right now." Sakusa shoved him towards the couch. "Hush. Let's wait about an hour, and then leave." "Where exactly are we going?" "Food. They walked side by side beneath the warm sun, until Atsumu gently laced their fingers together and slipped his arm over Sakusa's shoulder. "It was actually a lot of fun. I'm glad your siblings were so cool with sneaking me around your house." "They're not the problem," Sakusa said. "Just my parents. But I promise I'll talk to them. That way you don't have to climb a ladder every time you wanna come see me." Atsumu kissed his temple. "I love you, baby. I love you too." They sat at a small cafe table, feet tangled beneath. Sakusa ordered a ridiculous sweet drink and a slice of cake. Atsumu got a muffin. "I don't understand how you're not obese by now, Omi, look at how you eat." Sakusa raised a smug brow, took a bite of cake in lieu of a reply. They talked about meeting Atsumu's family. "Please tell me it won't be anything like this," Sakusa muttered. Atsumu laughed. "My mom's gonna be thrilled," Atsumu said around a mouthful of muffin, grinning wide. "She always said I should marry rich." Sakusa huffed a laugh, setting down his fork. "Marry rich? I don't have that much money." "You have just enough, babe." Atsumu shot back with a smirk. "Especially compared to my family, my mom gonna lose her mind. Like, my son landed a man with good skin and a retirement plan, I think that's her dream." Sakusa rolled his eyes, but the corners of his mouth twitched. "We really are opposites." He picked up another forkful of cake and offered it to Atsumu, who leaned in and let him feed it to him. After swallowing, Atsumu licked his lips, gave Sakusa a sideways glance, and said, "You know what they say, though." Sakusa tilted his head. "I don't think I do." Atsumu grinned. "Opposites attract." For a second, Sakusa just stared at him, expression unreadable, until that smile started to tug at his mouth again, soft and a little stunned, like he couldn't believe he'd gotten this lucky. Atsumu's eyes flicked down to his lips without meaning to. He blinked once, then leaned in. The kiss was warm and slow, just 10 seconds, but long enough to make Atsumu forget whatever dumb joke he was about to make next. When they pulled apart, Sakusa's eyes were half-lidded, his face flushed just a bit more than usual. "I'm so glad I met you," Sakusa said quietly. Atsumu's face lit up, bright and blinding. "I'm so glad I met you too." Sakusa leaned in and pressed a quick kiss to his cheek, gentle, affectionate, and sincere. Which would have been romantic as hell, if it weren't for the fact that Atsumu immediately blurted, "I knew that skincare routine was working." Sakusa rolled his eyes and shoved at his shoulder, but he was still smiling.